I've known since high school, I think, that I wanted to go into law school, describing the detonation of the bombs as like the descent of like 1,000 suns, and just waited. And I was like, I brought my resume. I would like an internship. She's like trying to convince me to go to Taiwan. But I don't.
Because she went to Taiwan.
Because she went to Taiwan.
That's a crazy attribute. It's just constantly evolving.
I always implore people to like find a way to get back to their communities.
At the end of the day, it's going to come back for your community.
Why do you want to work here?
Why? What is your purpose?
Thank you, Capelle, for joining us today on MEI podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 10 of MEI the podcast. If you're new here, my name is Marcina Langrine and I serve as the operations coordinator.
And I'm Matthew John, project specialist and Youth for Nuclear Justice fellow here at the Marshallese Educational Initiative. We're working on a very special project with Mark Harmony, so stay tuned.
As a module, it's crucial that we share our voices, perspectives, and as an intercultural nonprofit, dialogue with other communities. We also need to take back the narrative on issues that others have controlled for too long.
As we continue to share how we're working hard here at MEI to strengthen our community, we want to invite you to join us, and please take a moment to follow, like, share, subscribe, and even comment on our videos, which will help us reach more people. Kumaltada, and thank you for listening and for your support. Now, let's get into the next episode as we have a very special guest. It's going to be a great episode today. We have Capelle. Capelle was born in Medero, Marshall Islands, and moved to the United States at the age of 7. Prior to Springdale, he and his family lived in Colorado Springs, Colorado. He is currently a senior at the University of Arkansas with a triple major. Capelle plans to apply to law school and has goals to apply to a master's program. Capelle currently serves as an intern at the MEI Consulate's office. How are we doing today, Capelle?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me here.
Thanks for being here with us today.
Super grateful to have you. You are going to be a tremendous force for the Marshallese community in the future, and we're very excited to see you grow into a very strong and independent individual. So going back to the beginning of your story, your individual and personal story, you relocated to the United States at the age of 7. What was that experience like?
I was joking earlier that it was a really white experience, and also like the jarring contrast between like having lived in a low-lying island and then moving to the Rocky Mountains. So I went from like a hot, temperate like island to really cold. I saw snow for my first time. It's also in Colorado Springs, so there was like no tomados. I was the only tomato in my class, probably the whole school. And it was the first time that I ever had to point on a map and teach to not just the first graders there, but also like the teacher. Like, where am I from? And as like a 7-year-old with very limited geography, not like knowledge in geography, I was like somewhere over here, just pointing at the Pacific Ocean.
That culture shock must have been real, considering at such a young age, you're going from being surrounded by like all Marshallese and then going to a place where you're the only one. I had a similar experience. It's kind of opposite though. It's like I went from being the only one to being around others. So I don't know. I just know the culture shock for me was crazy, but it must have been crazier doing it the other way around.
And then like coming here and then it was like the other way around.
No, that's exactly like when I moved to Kansas City, Missouri, I was also the only Marshallese or Pacific Islander in the school. There's probably only 4 people of color in the whole school of mine. And so having to, be a second grader and like point, I live in this area, but I'm from this area. And then my mom's from this area. And so, it was, I would say that I, went through similar circumstances like you too.
So what was that like having to explain to an adult where you're from and like who you are? Because when I came here, they were teaching me about where I'm from and who I am as a Marshallese. So I just want to know from that perspective.
As I said, really daunting. Like you're like put in front of the whole class and like, where are you from? And also like limited knowledge in English. Like, there was like also no ESL program there. So it was like the culture shock was a shock. But sometimes I feel like you're kind of fighting to like explain or like justify like, yes, this is a place and it exists. And I don't know, some people like take it better than others. Some people are like, are you sure about that? Like they're kind of like in disbelief. They're like, this little kid, is he really sure? I don't know.
In ESL, were you in ESL just for like 1 year or was it multiple years?
It was multiple years. Yeah, which is crazy. I remember in ELD, we had like a writing. I graduated out of ELD, I think in junior high. So really late. But as early as like middle school, we had like a writing exercise. There was like somebody from the district there. She was like overseeing our ELD teacher. And then she was reading my sentences and she was like, why is he here? I'm like, why am I here? I have no idea how they worked that program. But yeah, it was nice, I guess.
When I was in ESL, so I went to ESL because I spoke Pidgin because I grew up in Hawaii. And so they thought that I didn't know English, but it was just broken English or Pidgin. And I ended up being in ESL all the way till about 7th grade.
It's crazy.
And I spoke perfect English.
When I moved here from Oregon, they the front office ladies tried to put me in ESL when I was signing up for Sonora, but I only knew how to speak English. So I was like,
that's really interesting.
Yeah. My mom was like, why are you guys trying to put him for English, like learning?
When his first language is English.
I was like, I literally
That's
only
crazy.
speak English, like today too. Like I can speak a little Marshallese, but.
Now I'm curious if they do that in the school district.
Yeah.
Even if they know English, are we still put in English?
It's definitely like,
or is it called ELD now? So
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is it ELD now?
I've heard ELD.
Okay, it's probably ELD now.
We'll probably ask.
Yeah, it's crazy
I've heard
that
both.
you say that you graduated at a later age, but like you're pretty fluent. Like we'll talk about it later in the episode. Pretty fluent in Spanish. So you guess you just continue to keep learning languages. That's very impressive.
Yeah, I was just really fortunate because I don't know why, but Spanish clicked like really easily for me. Maybe it was like after learning English, like Spanish seemed like, oh, like that's kind of like an easy transition to make because they both have like Latin origins. So
that's so cool.
I want to learn Spanish. I only know certain words and phrases. So, what factors influence your family's decision, to move to Springdale? Was it because of family, for schooling, or?
Probably a mix of both. My parents at the time, they were both active military members.
Okay.
Which is why we're in Colorado Springs. Fort Carson, I think, is there. So I moved here so my aunt could watch me. It's like, I guess like the reason was it was a little like more stable. Like my aunt didn't really have to move as much. There's a really good community here. And I guess for my education.
Yeah. Do you have a big family here in Springdale? That's good.
Yeah,
I feel like no, go ahead.
Most of my cousins are like first generation immigrants.
Okay.
Yeah, so we all moved here around the same time, like not like together, but like one by one, we all moved over here. And it was I assumed that like when I moved here, like most of everyone else in the school district also were immigrants. But that got disappeared. Like everyone that I was talking to, like, oh no, I was born here. I was born in Hawaii. And I was like, what? That's crazy.
As a first generation immigrant doing everything that you're doing, that's I don't know.
I was a first gen college student, and so teaching, learning about what scholarships are, what FAFSA is, what to do on a college application, that was really hard. It was a tough process, and I felt that my counselors at the high school weren't very helpful. They just tell me, you need to go to this website and fill it out, but they never really walked through the process with me. And so I kind of want to touch base on, you being a current senior at the University of Arkansas. First off, congrats. You reached your senior year. Are you excited?
I'm so excited. I've been ready since sophomore year.
No worries. So I'm super excited for you. It's so inspirational to listen to your story because you're a triple major. And so what career objectives do you have related to your majors and minor?
So I'm triple majoring in political science, Spanish, and international studies with a concentration in peace, security, and human rights. Okay. And my minor is in legal studies. I've known since high school, I think, that I wanted to go into law school. I kind of gave myself an ultimatum. I was like, it's either law school or medical school. Okay. And English has always been my stronger suit. So I was like, let me play to my strengths and go to law school. Political science, I feel like I've always been interested in politics. And then international relations has been a little bit more recent. I felt like it's kind of political science, but with a more international perspective. And then Spanish, I wasn't really set on studying Spanish. I was like, I know I want to take at least one Spanish class a semester so I don't lose it. And then my advisor was like, why not just make it another major? So I was like, okay, yeah, might as well. And then I guess my career objectives with these, as I said, law school. While interning at the consulate office, my boss, the CG, has been kind of convincing me to do a stint, a service in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I feel like that'd be a natural use of my education if I want to go back and give back to my community, my country.
Honestly, I've always wanted to work at the Ministry of Affairs. I thought it would be a really great work opportunity, but that's exciting that you have triple major.
I think you might be the first triple major I know personally.
Oh yeah, it was just high school. I did the IB track, International Baccalaureate. I don't know if you guys knew it. I'm pretty sure it was around in your time. There were some Marshallese who did it before me too.
Really?
I think Wase. Yeah, I think he's back at the islands now.
Wase, another one?
I don't even know anymore. But
he's still in fate though.
Yeah, there were still demandos in the program, when I was coming into it. But I got a bunch of college credits from that because it's AP. And I think when I went into college, I was already a sophomore. So I could have graduated early, but I wanted to graduate with my friends on time. So I just kept on adding majors. I was like, why not? It's basically free. So
that's so cool, actually. So did Wase kind of students that you knew had triple majors? Did they kind of inspire you to do that?
I don't know if they had triple majors. I don't know his story. He was an IB. He graduated before I could really, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was always I always admired whenever I saw Marshallese people in challenging academic spaces. I feel growing up, even in Springdale High School, the first AP class that I ever took was human geography, and I was the only demandal there. I feel as I kept going toward graduation, the classes that I was taking, it felt I kept seeing fewer and fewer demandals. So it's really nice to see all the Marshallese students that are at the University of Arkansas.
No, it's since the beginning, since around 2015, MEI's mission has always been to encourage those to pursue higher education. And when we were assisting with college applications, FAFSA, there was probably only 3 Marshallese students at the U of A. And then there was only a total of 10 of us in college, in general, in Northwest Arkansas. But now that number has exceeded, and it's just so exciting. It's exciting to see all these, the Marshallese students at the University of Arkansas. And so I love seeing things like that.
And we have our own organization, PISA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's really nice to have a community there.
Yeah.
You guys got PISA. That's cool. At least when I was graduating high school, there was nothing like that. and that was in 2019.
Harvard didn't even have Islander Club when I was there. We had International Club.
Oh, wow.
And so there was no Islander Club.
Yeah, it's just like
I graduated.
Like it's just constantly evolving our community, and it's so cool to see. So before we go into further university talk and like career paths, I'm going to pull something out from the archive in the vault.
Ooh, what is it?
Oh my God.
Do we recognize this piece?
Oh my goodness.
That was a long time ago. I can't believe you guys still have it.
So this piece we possess was created by you. It was during one of our workshops focused on the nuclear and climate nexus. And just wanted to know if you could elaborate on what this piece is.
Yes. That was in high school, I think. I might have been a junior. I don't remember. But I just like remembered a quote from like a documentary that I watched, and it was some lady, I think, was describing the detonation of the bombs as like the descent of like 1,000 suns or something like that. And I thought it just sounded so poetic for something that was so like tragic and so destructive. Like the way she described it was so beautiful. But like the devastation that it wrought was awful. And I thought that the contrast was kind of, it might have been, I could have like depicted it kind of like, well, I don't know, in a painting. So,
I mean, look at this.
It's a beautiful painting, for sure. I can't paint, but that's definitely beautiful.
That was probably like one of the last paintings that I've ever done.
Really?
So, yeah, it's been a while since I painted.
You do know that this travels across the world, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's cool. This is like a piece of your artivism, and it's just cool to get artists that painted these paintings onto the podcast so that they could share their experience. We had Mashiro on a couple weeks ago, and he had a painting as well that also travels. So I think it's really cool that you also have a little hint of artivism in your work. It's traveling around. It's going to continue to travel around the world for years.
You put art activists on your resume.
It's seen the world for me.
So put this to the side. So going back to your internship at the consulate office, what motivated and sparked your interest to secure a position as an intern at the consulate office in Springdale and becoming a clerk for an attorney based in the consulate?
Initially, it was like a really selfish motivation. I was like, I think I was a sophomore at the time. It's when I first tried to get an internship. I called the office and I was like, hey, like I'm a student, I'm a sophomore here. I guess looking for interns. They were like, no. So I tried again later. Or maybe that was my junior year. But I was thinking about like my upcoming law school application. And I was like, dang it, like I need to start like stacking my resume. So it was when my Spanish class, the ESL class that I was teaching, was coming to an end. I was like, I need something else to occupy my time. So I got out of class early and I printed my resume and I went to the office and just waited. And I was like, I brought my resume. I would like an internship here. That was before they announced that they were looking for interns. And Carolina at the front desk, she was like, okay, you can speak with the CG. And I was like, really? I went, it was my first time meeting everyone in that office. I went in and she was like, kind of interviewing me. Like it felt like an interrogation. She was like, why do you want to work here?
Why? What is your purpose?
And I was like, to serve my community.
That's a good answer. Yeah. That's a great answer.
But I was like, I want to use my degree. And it'd be nice if this would look nice on my law school application and resume too. And she was like, okay, when can you start? And I was like, that easily?
Like right now.
Yeah. So
that's such a cool way to start. I don't think it's selfish to want to do good, for yourself, to build yourself up. because at the end of the day, it's going to come back for your community. Because you're doing so many things. You're a student, you're an intern, who's also a clerk. You're a barista, correct?
Yes.
And what does that look like? Like, what's a typical day look like when you're trying to balance all of these things?
Oh, it depends on. I base everything else around my class schedule because school comes first for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I first see, like, when the semester starts, what my class is like. If they're in the morning or in the afternoon. If they're in the morning, I become a closer at Starbucks. So I go to classes. I go to Starbucks. On my days off, I do whatever, like the consulate office or whatever volunteer service project I'm doing at that moment. Last semester, I was an opener at Starbucks, so I left my house at 4 a.m.
Phew.
I would leave work at like 10 a.m., go to class, and then teach my ESL class and come home at like 10:30 p.m. So, and just repeat. So sometimes it's a little exhausting. I feel like I'm just at my apartment. I live by myself too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a roommate now, but I moved out. Like, I told my family in freshman year, I was like, next year I'm moving out. I wanted to get the whole college experience. And I did. So sometimes I feel like I'm just at my apartment to sleep. And that's really it.
That was me.
It's just
when I was
an
an undergrad. I had 3 jobs actually, and then a full-time student.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was in the same boat as you. I don't know how I feel like now that's probably why I probably get, this is really bad, but I get like less than 6 hours of sleep, which is really bad.
Yeah. Luckily for me, I work at a coffee shop, so I'm always like caffeinated.
That's why I need coffee every morning too. So
Just
I feel you on that.
Hustling. That's crazy. Both of you guys. I mean, I also get that many hours of sleep, but that's just my brain will allow me to sleep. We talked a little bit about that earlier. It's hard for me, but
you're working through it, so
yeah.
That's good.
I think that's crazy though. Like, just a jam-packed schedule every day, just hustling, and I commend you for that. Snaps throughout this entire episode.
So, Chapel, we talked a lot about your experience at the Marshall Islands Consulate. So, can you talk more about what it's like being an intern and what key lessons have you learned during this period?
It's been a really gratifying and rewarding experience, I think. And really just full of like learning opportunities, like seeing how many different ways that the office serves and helps our community. And I feel like my bosses don't hesitate to make every single moment like a learning opportunity and like something to teach me. Key lessons that I've learned during this period, probably just a lot about service, like helping and serving my community, representing our government. Also the Marshallese language skills. Like, my bosses are not afraid to correct my Marshallese every single time. And there's a bunch of like older folks that come in too.
Yes.
And that's like the only language they speak.
Yes.
And in my family, I feel like my family is like really good with English. So I never like was pressured to speak only in Marshallese. So to be in like that sort of environment where it's like, I have to speak just Marshallese, I feel like it's been really helping me with those skills. And it's been really nice too, because as I mentioned, I've moved out. So like, I don't really speak a lot of Marshallese as much as I used to. So it's nice to be able to like use that.
I need to stop by the consulate office.
No, you have Carlness to like correct you. And Marino too. Like, you need to use this correctly.
No, actually, Carlness does that. Marino's like my little helper. Like,
oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
He bails me out of so many situations. It's not even funny.
No, I feel like those that, especially that grew up in the diaspora, when I have conversations with them, a lot of them, say, well, we don't want to speak Marshallese because the older Marshallese, they say don't do it. And then it confuses me sometimes because on one hand, the older gen wants us to continue want us to continue, speaking our native tongue, but at the same time, the youth feel discouraged
and kind of mocked sometimes.
Yeah, and mocked sometimes too.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. They're like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think, after learning a different language, I feel like sometimes, and I feel really guilty, but I feel like sometimes I can express myself better in Spanish than Marshallese. And I just have to remind myself that I've been learning Spanish like in a classroom, like formally for like 4 or 5 years. And Marshallese, it's just like really what you pick up. Like you're not really taught it. We did have that Marshallese Youth Academy that you guys hosted. I think it was my junior or senior year of high school.
That was a while back.
I still look at those notes. Like I saved it all and I have it all in a file. Anytime I need to like review something. There are like online resources. If you want to like learn, there's the dictionary online.
The dictionary is honestly our best friend.
Yeah.
Because we follow the standardized spelling with the Marshallese language, because by law you have to use the standardized spelling. So I look at that book every day, the dictionary.
Yeah. We had a Marshallese language class. What was it, 2 days ago? And our teacher was speaking to me in Marshallese in front of the entire class, and I was struggling. And everything I was struggling with, he just kept telling me to look at the dictionary. So the dictionary really is a powerful tool.
But sometimes it's like, it's vocabulary and it's not really the syntax or the grammar, stuff like that.
That's a good point.
And I don't know, but yeah, you can only do so much with the dictionary. So, and I also like, my family's Catholic, so we never went to like Marshallese church a lot. We usually went to mass, and I feel like the kids who really know Marshallese, they grew up in the Marshallese church because like they're just throwing like Marshallese at
most
you.
Definitely, yeah.
So whenever I had the opportunity to go to like Marshallese churches, it'd be really nice to just like hear Marshallese like the whole time.
That's how I really also picked up on Marshallese, was through church as well. And so it's weird because like the spelling in the Bible is like totally different from how some people spell certain things. And so
and it's fun because it's like phonetic, so like you can sound it out.
I think with the Marshallese language, like most non-Marshallese, they assume that you could just translate word for word. But when I try to explain things, I'm like, the Marshallese language is like, there's a lot of verb action words. Like there's like no direct translation. You have to explain what that word means, because some words, like there's like 40 different ways that you can say it. And so when people assume and say, oh, well, you can just translate it in like 10 minutes. I'm like, no, I can't. You have to like really look at the context and then really decide like how to properly translate it, because you can't do word for word.
Earlier this year, you taught in the English class for Salvadorian immigrants. And what motivated you to kind of take action?
Well, it started the fall semester of 2024. And I was taking this class called Translation and Interpretation in Spanish. And it's a service learning course. So they like require you to fulfill like a certain number of community service hours. And that's how I got connected to this organization. They're called SUPA, or Salvadoreños Unidos para Arkansas. And they needed people like university students who were learning Spanish to teach their English classes, because a bunch of the people who were like wanting to take these classes, they're like older generation immigrants. And they also didn't go to school too in their own country. So sometimes it was also kind of like teaching like written Spanish, but also like, because the class instruction, like I was speaking in Spanish most of the times so they could understand me. And then as we like neared graduation, I was trying to like incorporate more English into it. So kind of like a mixture of Spanglish. It was an easier experience because Salvadoranians, like, it's not like Dominican. They don't speak like Dominican or Puerto Rican, so it's not like really, really fast. They speak a little bit more slower, kind of like Mexicans, which is like, I grew up like here in Springdale, so a bunch of my friends were from Mexico. So like it was at least like I was familiar with the speech, the speed, the rate of the speech, stuff like that. But yeah, I did that for like almost a whole year, teaching that class. And it was really nice for me, my spring semester, because I couldn't find a Spanish class to enroll in. So that was like my only time that I got to speak Spanish, and like at work too, because we get a bunch of like Spanish speakers at Starbucks and they don't speak English. So I quite often have to translate or interpret there. Also, those classes was one of the only times where I could practice my Spanish.
So you're like trilingual.
I guess.
That's crazy. 3 languages, 3 majors.
Triple threat.
Triple threat.
Triple threat.
Sheesh. That's crazy. That's a crazy attribute.
I mean,
More
I feel
snaps.
like we grew up here, so like it was kind of easy.
I need to learn Spanish.
I'd love to see more Marshallese people speaking Spanish.
Imagine, like, we just have a conversation in
And, like,
Spanish.
The consulate office sent me to the job fair for Cargill. I think it was Cargill.
I think I saw you.
Oh, really? Okay.
I was at the table.
Yes, you're at the table. Okay, yeah. They sent me there because I'm just a lowly intern, so they can send me wherever they want.
No, you're the intern.
The intern.
The intern.
But I was there to represent the office and help interpret for people who needed it. And it was so like nice to see like Hispanic people and Marshallese people. Like there were Hispanic people saying yakwe, and then Marshallese people saying hola, and I was like, what the heck? Like this is our community, and I love that.
Yeah. So I remember at the event, there was this there were young people there too, and one of the younger Hispanic guys came up to me. He's like, yakwe, and I was like, hola. He's like, hola amigo, and then he just left. I was like, I don't know, but that's my guy. Like that's how I feel like with every I don't know, just everyone in Springdale in general. Like if you recognize that they're Hispanic, like Latinx or Marshallese, like you'll just say what's up in their language, and that's like an unspoken bond that Springdale's, like people from Springdale or Northwest Arkansas just
it's like we say hello in different languages when we see, other people. So
for sure,
I get that.
Yeah.
So you being triple threat, that's gonna be the nickname. Triple board certified. You're gonna be triple board certified. You're trilingual. So what are your aspirations for the future, and what achievements do you hope to pursue following your internship and graduation?
Yeah, I'm set to graduate this summer.
Ooh.
May of 2026. I've been inviting everyone. Like,
as you should. Triple board certified right there.
Everyone's been asking me about like, when you graduate. I'm like, this upcoming summer, come. I knew that I was wanting to apply to law school. Like I want to go to law school. That's like 3 years though. And I feel like during the course of my internship and my junior and senior year, I was like, maybe I need to slow it down. Like I need to I don't want to dum. I just kind of want to experience life a little bit, because after law school, you usually get like an offer to intern at a firm. And then after your internship, you're usually offered like a spot there, and you can't really say no. I mean, you could, but then you're like, that's a job opportunity right there. So I don't really have like a lot of flexibility after I graduate with my law degree. So I'm like, it has to be sometime before that. So I was thinking about maybe applying for a master's program, and probably in international relations, because I'm already getting a bachelor's in that. So might as well take it like one step further, like outside of the US too. I feel like that'll like legitimize it. Like studying international relations in Arkansas, it's kind of crazy. Like just like a chance to further my academic interest, do some research, travel, see the world a little bit before like I have to like lock in professionally.
Yeah, you got to catch up to your painting.
Yeah, I can't let that painting show me up. I need to see some more places.
Well, it'll be really cool to see you abroad, probably like in the Europe area, because then you could just take trains like all over Europe.
I know. I'm trying to see if there's like a program in France. Because
there's a lot of programs.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because my boss she's like trying to convince me to go to Taiwan. But I don't.
Because she went to Taiwan.
Because she went to Taiwan. And I mean that'd be really nice. Like Mandarin is like a really widely spoken language. But I'm like that scares me. I kind of don't. And I feel like I'd have an easier time learning French or even Italian, something like Latin based, like a romantic language. Romance, not like romantic. Yeah, but I feel like Europe would be nice. It's like all together. You can like travel.
You literally can go from like Germany all the way down to like Italy or Greece.
Yeah.
Country hop. I mean, Germany is smaller than Texas.
Yeah.
I feel like Texas is 10 times bigger than Germany, actually.
In probably most European countries.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. When when me, Benedict, and Marina were in Germany, we literally biked to the Netherlands.
That's so cool.
Just biked.
Yeah, it was insane. Just hop on a bike and then like 20 minutes later, you're in a different country. Took a back road.
I forgot my passport. Just kidding. If you biked to the Netherlands, did you have to like carry your passport?
No,
or actually. Is it it's just a line?
Honestly, I don't even know when we crossed. Like at one point you see like a bunch of like modernized buildings and like civilization, and then you go into
like country.
Yeah, and then it's like huts and it's like
that's cool.
I was like, dang,
that's really cool.
What a switch up. Like
that's actually pretty cool.
I was gonna ask you a question, but I can't.
You can.
Oh, do you remember that?
Yeah, there was a line that we stood at.
There was a line. There was a line. I literally remember that now. So from everything that we've heard today, everything we learned from the triple threat, that's your new nickname. But I just want to know if there's any final messages for you that you have for future and upcoming college students in regards to like the hustle, the dedication and commitment. Like, is there any final messages?
I guess just like bully kadeo. Like I feel like I hear that all the time. Like if someone finds out I'm in school, it's like, oh, bully kadeo. Like and I feel like that's like so encouraging. It's just two words. And anytime I hear it, it's like I feel like it reinvigorates me. I feel like when I like forget like or lose sight of like what I'm doing all of this for, I love to just go to my grandma's house, like go spend time with family. And I'm like, oh, like it always like refreshes me like for a home cooked meal, and I'm just talking, updating my family about what's happening in my life. I feel like it's a nice little pick me up, and I'm like, oh, like I know what I'm doing this for now. I guess just like do what you love. And then maybe after you get your degree, I always implore people to like find a way to get back to their communities. And I don't know, like use your education to push us forward, to invite like the next generation, always like be like a helping hand. I love seeing Marshallese people in like spaces where we don't traditionally occupy, and I will do whatever I can to help us fill those spaces. I think we all just need to help each other. Yeah, if school's for you, there's a really good community of us at the University of Arkansas. If anybody has any questions or stuff like that, y'all can do it.
Y'all can do it.
Now, Ipenda and togetherness, that's the pillar of, being Marshallese. Yeah, we're excited for your journey. Thank you for sharing all that you do with us. And we're excited to watch you grow, to travel, and then one day, say Chapel, the lawyer, attorney Chapel Capelle. So that has a good ring to it.
Man, that is insane. Well, thank you, Chapel, for joining us today on MEI, the podcast. That concludes our episode for today. Be sure to follow our YouTube channel and subscribe to MEI, the podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts.
As we close today's episode, remember this: your story matters. Your culture is powerful, and your journey, whether to higher education or deeper self-discovery, is worth celebrating. From one island soul to another, como tada and keep shining. We're your hosts, Marcina and Matthew, and as always, we'll catch you next time.